Hi guys, this is Drinkwater 200 here today, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you guys how to make armor and clothing for your characters. Now, I want to go off by starting to say that I need you guys to check out the description and go to my friend's YouTube channel. He makes really cool dreams content. Sometimes he makes tutorials, but not as much as me. But he's got some really cool stuff he makes, and he's not very known to the community. He's also the one that gave me extra tips on how to expand on making this clothing and armor technique. So let's begin. So first thing you're going to want to do is, I usually start off with the head armor. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to scope into the character, turn on precise move, copy the head, so like that. See how I have an extra head? Copy the head, so you're gonna press L1 and R2 to copy, of course, if you didn't know that. Copy it, make it a little bit bigger, and put it back in. Okay, so now we have an extra layer of the head, as you can see. And now we can basically carve into this head, do a cutouts, etc. So I could show you guys what cutouts look like. Now when you're doing cutouts, I recommend you go into grid mode and do this to get a perfect symmetry of both sides, because cutouts don't mirror, as you can see. So yeah. So let's say for example I did a cut here. This is the second layer, right? So I can do something like this. Hold on. I can do something like that, for example. Or I can just delete that. And yeah. So that's just that's one way. Now cutting is very thermal heavy, so I don't recommend you cut, but you could. So for example, if you wanted to cut here, then delete it, that's another way. And yeah, now we're not going to cut, we're going to use a regular shape, and we're going to basically carve into this and make a cool sci-fi looking helmet, just to show you guys how it actually is done the correct way. So there we got something pretty nice going, you know. And then of course you can use blends, and you can add shapes, and you can do a whole bunch of cool stuff. And just go crazy with it. And yeah, so let's say you wanted to do something like this. I'll show you guys, for example. So you wanted something cool like this. Like that, and then you wanted something like this, and something like that, for example. Clean it up. Just an example, you know. And then I don't know, let's say you wanted something like that, or something like this. And then you wanted, I don't know, let's say you wanted this glowing or whatever, something like that. And that's just ideas, you know. That's just basically I'm just showing you guys how you can go about making stuff like this. Alright, so I'm just gonna leave that as it is. Maybe let's cover this just to finish it off and make it cooler. And there we go. So now we have a cool armor looking face. Maybe we can add more here, and maybe a little bit here. And there we go. We got something really dope. And yeah, guys, so that's how you would make a like helmet if you wanted. Look at that. And it's literally cut in the inside, so yeah. So now we basically got a custom helmet for our character. And then if you wanted to make another helmet, you just do the same thing. Or if you want to do your life harder, if you want to do it the difficult way, you can copy this, go back in, and delete all the edits you just made, basically. And yeah, I recommend you just make a whole new head. Anyways, that's how you make head armor. Now, let's say you wanted to make armor for this, the chest. You're gonna scope in again, make sure you're in precise move, press X, copy and paste. Now you're gonna have this, you're gonna put it back in, make sure it's a little bit bigger than the body. There we go. Now this one, I need to clean it up a bit, as you can see, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Just gonna clean it up here, because this one, I don't know what I was doing. I was just messing around with this body I made. So I'm just gonna clean that up, you know. Clean up the sides too. And there we go. So now we have basically a new layer. Let's clean this up too, just because. And let's just clear this. And there we go. So now we have basically a new layer for making the armor. So now what you can do is you could basically do the same thing, something just like that, like what you did up there. So I don't know, let's say I wanted to make oh, this is another thing, guys. If you see this is too thick, like let's say I cut into it right here, you see how that's too thick, unless that's what you want. But I personally don't want that, so I'm gonna just bring it back a little bit more, and now it won't be as thick. See that? Now, always, what I usually do is I either use a spear, and I just cut into this like that. Now you see, notice how it's too high. I'd bring it down a bit, as you can see, and I'd clean up the sides. So let's go to mirror, for example, and I'd basically shape out the shirts. Alright, so now we have this going on, as you can see. Now I'm going to clean up the hand, the little piece that's hanging out. Maybe your characters won't have to do this, but I'm personally gonna clean up my character. There we go. And let's clean up this little part here. I don't like that, so let's just clean that up. And there we go. So now we have this, as you can see. Now we can clean this up. It's up to you. You don't have to clean these up, but I personally just want to. And yeah, so look at that. Now we have this. Now we have this. See that? Now, let's say you wanted to make armor for this. let's do same thing. So we could do something like this. Go in here. And then we can do something like this, where we stretch this. Make that small. Blend it. Get some cool looking shit going. See that? And you guys don't have to do armor like me. I just love doing sci-fi armor. It's the coolest, in my opinion, to do sci-fi armor. And yeah, guys. So I don't know. Let's say you want to make this glow or whatever. Just it's up to you guys what you guys want to do. So I don't know. Let's say we made this black, for example. Bring up that, bring up the metalness. Then you have the regular color in the bottom. Just an example, guys, you know, and then helmet, for example. Let's see. Bring that, bring up the shininess. Make it darker, bring up the metalness. And there's just an example, guys. So now we have a metal chest plating or whatever. And then this, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, this is if you have a character like this. I don't know if you guys will have a character like this, but if you do, then press X when you're doing that, by the way. As you can see why you don't want this. So press X, bring out the body, bring it up a bit, put it back in, and I'm just going to cut this here just to show you guys. There we go. Now, like I said, I'm not going into much detail into this, but I'm just showing you guys what could be done, the type of stuff you can do, and yeah. So I don't know, let's say you wanted something like that, and then you something like this, for example. And just, like I said, guys, just let your mind go wild. I'm not going to go into full detail on how to make different types of armor. I'm just showing you guys the basics of how you could make armor and shit. Just cool looking stuff, you know. And then we have this weird shit going on. And there we go. And then let's just paint it, I guess. Show the colors and shit. Blah blah blah. Bring up the metalness. Let's say I wanted this to be more closer or whatever. And You do the same for the arms. Oops. Don't forget to press X. You do the same for the arms. Now let's say you wanted to do like a cool armor plating on the sides for the hands. You would do something like this. And just, you're basically just carving in, you know. So I could use a spear or just another shape and then just carve those out. And just an example. There we go. Then you do the same for the legs. So copy the legs, bring it out a little bit, and you cut out the pieces or whatever. Don't forget to press X. Oof, I forgot to press X on that part. Press X. Don't forget to press X. Now you'd bring it out a bit, for example, and then you, let's say you just want that extra layer of armor. You cut that, and then you place the other half. Then you color that. And there you go, that's just another example. And you just do the same thing, shoes, the other leg. You could also cut into these. Now if you do cut into these, for example, instead of that you would want to go here, you'd want to go to the live clone, turn on the live clone, clone it, flip it, and now whatever you do to one happens to the other. And then you can just do shit like this, just weird, cool looking stuff. I don't know what you guys would come up with. And yeah, and then that's pretty much it, guys. Now if you wanted to make, let's say you wanted to make clothing textures, it's pretty easy. What you do is just get a spear, make it really thin like this, about like that. Make it long, bring it out. Now you put it onto the whatever texture you're gonna do for cloth or whatever, and you do this. Bring it in a little bit and bring that in. There we go. Now we're just gonna fix that. So that's a little bit too thin still, so I'm going to, it still looks weird, so we're going to make this maybe fatter. Or thinner. Just you mess with this right here, so you get that nice clothing like texture. So turn it at a certain angle. Don't know why it's showing up like that. It shouldn't be showing up like that. Don't know why it's showing so weird. That's weird. Alright, let's try this again. Don't know why that's happening. Okay. And then again, turn it at an angle. Bring up the blend a bit. There we go. And then you get that clothing texture, which you just basically you just make it actually. So you just go in and then just, yeah, this part you gotta be pretty precise if you want it to look good. So make sure to turn it at an angle. Let's blend it a little tiny bit more, just a bit more. There we go. And then you just, you know, like that. And that's how you guys make the clothing lines and shit. So yeah guys, that'll be the end of the tutorial. I hope this helps. And yeah guys, have a great day.